Hang on, Bailey. All right, welcome back. We are playing with some go-karts today. We made a couple of videos, I think, on this go-kart. We got it about a year ago. My boys got it for a Christmas present, and we haven't really done a whole lot with it other than tear it up a bunch of times. And we're gonna change the engine out today. We're putting a Predator 212 on it. It has a Predator 212 on it, but it's got an issue. For now, I think it's quicker for just to replace the engine. The engines are so cheap on these things; they're like 160 bucks. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna teach my two boys how to change an engine on a go-kart, because it's time they learn how to tinker on these a little bit more instead of me doing everything. If you ride, you gotta learn how to work on them. That's my opinion. So if you can't work on them, you can't ride. We've had a bunch of problems with the clutch coming off of this thing, and the threads got galled up in there, and I don't know if they were messed up from the beginning. Since we got this clutch, the bolt kept coming out, and the clutch would fall into pieces, and belt would come off. We had to put a chain on it at one point. I put a heavier duty chain on it, but I was trying to clean the threads up, and I broke a tap off in there. So I tried welding to it several times with no success. I mean, I welded to it, but it kept snapping off. So we'll get that engine off and make a project out of it. Maybe put a stroker kit in that engine or something like that, make it a little hot rod motor, put it on a mini bike or something. I don't know yet, but I'll drill that shaft out, and if not, I'll just change the crankshaft out in it. If I can't get the threads cleaned back up. These engines are so cheap, though. I mean, 160 bucks for a whole brand spanking new engine in a box. And we've got two of them sitting right there, one for the log splitter and one for this go-kart. And we're going to start right now. We're going to grab some tools, and these boys are going to get to work. You got to do a few things to get before you take an engine off. One of them, you got to take the throttle cable off. There's a cable attached from the throttle to the carburetor. So it goes from your pedal to the carburetor. Pretty simple. It's got a Phillips head screw there, Phillips head screw there. This cable slides out of the eyelet. This cable slides out of the holder, and you can pull this cable back. You understand? All right. So get a Phillips head screwdriver out of the toolbox. It may not be easy to go that way because of the path, but you can try. So same as always, righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. So turn to the left like you're doing. Yep, good job. You probably don't have to take it all the way out. Okay, leave it in there a little bit. Loosen that one. You need to push down. You're going to strip it. There you go. If you're bouncing around, you got to pay attention to what you're doing. If you're just bouncing the screwdriver around in the head, you're going to round that thing at the head of that screw out.
I got it.
You know what I'm saying? And then you're in trouble. Kind of like the bolt in the crankshaft and the tap. Same thing. You end up with the same situation. All right, so you got them both loose. Put your screwdriver down. Try to slide that cable out. All right. It's kind of bent though, so you might have to try to bend it around while you're sliding it out. And if it doesn't want to come out, then you may have to there you go. It's coming out. Good. So you may have to take some pliers to it, but
Maybe.
you almost got it.
There we go.
All right. So next thing we got to do, the belt's already off, right?
Yeah.
Because the clutch is already off, it fell apart, blah, blah, blah. We'll get to that. I would say let's go ahead and take this clutch plate off. While it's sitting up here, I think it'd be easier to do that now. So what do you think holds that clutch plate onto that engine? Start studying it. You got to look at it. Figure out what bolts hold it on. You got to use your brain. You got to look. This whole plate is attached to this block, this engine, right? What do you think holds it on? It's not hard. It's staring right at you. All right, Bailey. Give me that ball. Give me that ball.
A bolt, but
Yeah. How many bolts you think holds it on? How many bolts you see?
4, only 5. Because for including the nut right there, and then you got 4 over there.
No, just these 4.
Oh.
1, 2, 3, 4. Just those 4. So we gotta get the right size wrench or socket. And take this thing apart. All right, we're gonna do quite a few little projects on this. Today we're gonna put the engine on. Hopefully we'll get the belt, the torque converter. I think they call this a torque converter setup, which is the belt and chain deal. When I was a kid, we just had a chain on a clutch straight to an axle. But I think these things, as heavy as they are now, they use these torque reduction deals with these belts and centrifugal clutches. So we're gonna get that installed today, hopefully, and get the throttle cable. Maybe they can get or drive it. This thing has a scrub brake on it, which doesn't like to stay on the drum. It just clamps around, the shell clamps around this drum, but it also has a disc on it, but doesn't have a caliper. So we're gonna try to rig up a disc brake setup on this thing, because that scrub brake is no bueno. All right, well, get a better angle on it. Just checking to see what size wrench he needs. All right, wait a minute now. When you're checking your sizes, you want to make sure it's not sloppy, because if you put the 11 on it, I'll show you. It kind of fits, but it's too sloppy, right?
Yeah.
So what happens when you do that?
You get a small one.
Well, you get the right size, and if you don't, it rounds the edges off of these nuts, these heads, and then you're screwed, and you have trouble getting it out. So you can use this small wrench, but it's going to be, let's see how tight they are. Yeah, you're going to want a longer wrench. It's a 10 millimeter, so you can get a ratchet, which is a socket and the ratchet wrench, or you can get a long 10 millimeter wrench. All right, go ahead and start trying to take that out. It's a good idea to break these loose, and I broke that loose for him because it's pretty tight. Go to the next one.
Okay.
Yeah, slow go turning wrenches, one little turn at a time with a big old wrench like that. You bust it?
I don't know.
Make sure you're on the head real good. You don't want to round the head off.
Yeah.
Get at the top of the wrench. You have more leverage up at the top. Make sure you make sure you're all the way on. All right. Push. There you go. All right. Now, what I would do from there, I'd bust all of them loose with that long one. Mm-hmm. Or you can use, well, you can use air and stuff like that, but I'm not going to put y'all on air or ratchets like that. Get a hand ratchet, Caleb, with a 10 millimeter socket, and then you can ratchet that out, or you can get a gear wrench, a 10 millimeter gear wrench. Got your bolts broke loose, and use your ratchet, okay? This is going to make things go a lot faster. So you can put your wrench down where you're not going to forget about it, because that's good. Those are max. I've had those for 20 or 30 years. All right, use this. You got a switch on it for left and right. You'll figure out one's righty tighty, one's lefty loosey, but you got to put it on there and figure out. Okay, stick it on the head. Best way to do it is two-handed. Okay, do it like this. Best way to do it's like this. See what I'm doing? Mm-hmm. I got one hand holding it on, and I'm letting it spin in between my fingers. I'm just ratcheting it off. If you flipped it the other way, you'd be tightening it.
Yeah, I can see that.
All right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. There you go. And if you're not in a good spot, change your spot. So I'm staying right here, Jake. Stand on it straight on. That way you can. You're going. That's just what are you doing? You're going the wrong way. You're just ratcheting it. You're not. That's turning it. Oh, you got it on Tighten. That's why. Here. See? There you go. That's it. 12 years old, boy of mine has never turned wrenches before, but he's learning. He's gonna learn. I'm tired of turning them. 10-year-old's done a few. Not many. I want y'all paying attention and learning from this, so y'all can start figuring this kind of stuff out when I'm not around, or you know, when you're an adult and moved on, you can figure out how to fix things. Looks like you might have it all the way out, son.
Yep, I did.
All right. Now put your bolt where you're not going to lose it, because we're going to have to collect all 4 of them. You can set it on the cooler right there. That's fine. All right. Caleb's going to do one. Get longer throws at it. You got all this room. Look go. You got all this room. Look at that. You can go all the way around.
Yeah.
See what I mean? You're going like this. That's going to take you forever. You can probably twist it out by hand now, most likely. All right, let's get the rest of these bolts out. We'll move on to the next step here. All right, they're down to the last bolt. Caleb's holding the clutch plate, or whatever you want to call it.
Probably unstop, Jake.
Yeah, you're out, Jake. All right. Now you got your chain attached, right?
Yeah.
So you hold it at the top. You got it. You want to pop your chain off. So reach down there.
Jake.
Put your ratchet down. So you can try not to lose these pieces on this shaft.
Yeah, that's what it's
All right, we'll slide these off. Now you want to get your chain off, right? So the best way to do it is just take it off like that. Okay. Just roll your chain off. Don't get you're gonna have to walk it all the way off, all the way around that sprocket, Jake. Walk it all the way off the front side. You're going the wrong way.
Yeah.
See how the chain's coming off? You're fighting it the wrong direction. You should be walking it. You should have been walking it this way.
Yeah.
It's all right though. You got it's all.
Here, hold it. You can probably just pull it off now, to be honest.
Yep.
Yeah, just slide it off. Get it with 2 hands.
Now take your hole. Well, now what you want to do, since you got your chain loose enough to get it off this sprocket, let's see if you can get it off that sprocket. If it doesn't want to come off, it may not want to come off of that one. Here, just do this.
Just take
Just
the
lay
off of
it off to the side.
Yeah, that's what I was about to do.
We'll just lay it right there. So all we're going to do is, it shouldn't be leaking anything. There's nothing of fluids in it.
No gas.
May have some water in it. Ain't no gas in the chain.
No, not the chain.
You talking about the engine's leaking?
we have to
I thought you meant the clutch.
We'll have to drain.
Well, we don't need to drain it right now. It's not going to leak any fluid when we tilt it around now, because this is sealed.
That's good.
And this is sealed. So at this point, it's all right. It's not going anywhere. So at this point, what do you think holds the engine onto the go-kart?
Motor mounts.
All right, where are they at?
All right, there's one right there,
Mm-hmm.
and then actually it's missing one right here.
There should be 2 in the front, 2 in the back, but this thing's
There's one.
This thing's seen a few engines, I think, in its day before we got our hands on it, so there's no telling what's...
There's one in the front.
Okay.
Because one right there is missing.
Okay.
I think that's a...
Yeah, look how big that hole is. Somebody's blown that out they've cut all this to pieces, trying to modify it. So
Still stay still, though.
All right, so we gotta get those bolts out. So what you want to do? You already got some wrenches over here. You can see if those wrenches are the same sizes as any of these. You're gonna need a socket on the bottom, and a deep well socket, not a short one like we've got.
Like a humongous one.
And then a tall socket's a deep well. And then you're gonna want to hold it on top with a wrench. So you'll take a box end wrench, which we know this isn't the right size, but you got to figure out what sizes you've got. All right. So now it's way bigger than that. It's probably gonna be a 13 or a 14 if you're going in metric. Yeah, maybe a 9/16 in a standard size. But you're gonna need to figure out what your nut is on the bottom too. So I would try 14 millimeters or 9/16. So the boys are learning between metric and standard wrenches and bolts. So we determined that a 13 millimeter was what? Too loose. And what fits it? A half inch. Is just a little bit tighter on the head. So we've got a standard bolt most likely. So we're going to use the half inch up top to hold it, and then we're going to find a socket that fits the bottom.
So it doesn't move around.
Right, and we'll hold the top, and then we'll spin the nut off the bottom of the bolt with the socket and ratchet set up.
And then
okay.
You can pull the bolt out. Here.
You can try to use those wrenches to see if you can get on the nut to see what your size is, because you got to figure out your sizes, right? Or you can just grab a couple sockets. All right. You want to make sure you're square on there, Caleb. You're in an awful angle. If you're in a weird angle, you'll strip the head out. Okay. Sometimes you got to lay down on your back and look up under there.
All right. I think I'm in a good spot.
Which one you're going to turn it?
Yeah. Go.
Caleb, you need to turn it. Jake's holding it.
Make sure it doesn't go with me, dude.
You're in a weird angle again, Caleb. You need to square up on that.
I don't need to let it go with me.
No, you need to hold it still, Jake.
So,
He's trying to break the nut loose. And if you weren't holding it at the top, it would just be spinning the whole thing. Follow me?
mm-hmm.
They're learning ratchets and wrenches. They got all the motor bolts out. We got the throttle cable undone. We got the clutch plate off, whatever you want to call that thing. So that engine is ready to come off of there. You feel like y'all are manly enough to pick that engine up? Maybe.
All the gas in it.
Is there a lot of gas in it?
Yeah, it's like a full tank. We filled it up that day when it came off. See?
Yeah, we may be able to get that out of there. When was that? How long ago was that?
Long ago.
Gas may probably ain't any good anyway.
Last time we filled the tank up.
You want me to pick it up?
I don't know. I don't want to drop this. Yeah. I'll help you.
We'll try to pick it up and see what you can.
Pick it up there. Oh, that's kind of light.
I'd grab it from the tank and then grab it from this side. Up under the, yeah. Just get you a good holding spot.
Oh, that's, where are we going to put it then? Over where
Just
Dad's
set it down.
Oh,
Right.
that's
Yeah, that's fine. You can set it right there.
It's not bad. It's not that heavy.
All right. Bam. Engine removed. Okay, look how butchered up this plate is.
Oh.
Good Lord. What in the world were they doing there?
Trying to draw us?
I don't know what they were cutting it with a ziz wheel, I guess, or something. I don't know what they were doing. Good grief.
Looks like Guy with his headphones on.
That's why there was only 3 bolts in it, because you can see where the bolts were.
Yeah.
They just, yeah. That probably needs to be cut off and replaced, but we're not doing that.
Oh.
We'll roll with 3 bolts. All right, so can you pick that box up and get it out here? Go out the man door. Don't try to come across all those parts.
Opened it up this morning to make sure directions were in there on the top.
Oh, yeah. Open it up because you couldn't stand it. You had to look at it.
Really?
Don't drop it. If you can't get it, don't try.
I did it yesterday.
All right.
I know I can do it.
All right. Come on with it.
I don't want that thing to break.
Come on with it.
I bought that.
Set it down about right here. Give yourself some room. All right, the big unboxing. Open it up, see what we got.
Take those. Yeah. Wait after that.
It's brand new, man. Brand new. Pick it up out of there without tearing it up. Don't pick it up by the air cleaner.
I'll rip that thing right off.
That's it. You know, I wouldn't pick it up by that.
How much air coach?
Hold the camera.
Is it off?
All right. Well, let's see. Ooh, look how fancy. Same thing we just took off without a torn up crankshaft. That's what our problem was. So, yeah, we gotta get the right bolt. I don't know if it tells you the right thread pitch. That is for your spark plug. That's your spark plug tool. Taking your spark plug out if you need to. Shouldn't need that for a while. I guess just go ahead and set it back up there and start bolting it back down. You want me to put it up there or you want to do it?
I think we need these.
I want to look in there and see if it tells you the right bolt to put in the shaft. All right. So slide it back to where your other engine was sitting. No, it wasn't that way, son. That's way too far forward.
Whoa, like that. It's like right there.
Nah, it was all the way back, wasn't it?
I have no idea.
Well, look at your clutch plate. Was your clutch plate gonna fit on top of that like that? No.
No.
It was all the way back here. That hole and that hole is what was used. Gigantic gash. Because
these ones were on the one that was just sitting.
Yeah, I believe that's right. To tighten the chain, you slide the engine back until you get the right amount of slack in it. Hopefully it isn't too loose. I don't want it too tight because then it puts too much bind. If it's too loose, it comes off, but I don't think we're going to come off. We need to oil that chain up. We need to get the clutch on. So we need to get a bolt real quick. So they're going to finish tightening the motor down. We're going to run to the store and grab a bolt, and hopefully they can go for at least one little quick rip around the yard before something else breaks on this thing. Work on us. We just got back from Lowe's. Got a bolt, 5/16 by 24. Got a lock washer and a flat washer on there. Hopefully that will stay on. If not, we got more. Got the belt on it. Got some oil in it. Got some gas in it. Got the throttle cable set. I went ahead and helped them out, sped up the process a little bit. They did a good job learning some, basic tools. I want y'all to go ahead and push it out, get it aimed out in the yard, and you can get in there and in case it tries to drive away or something. I don't think it shouldn't. Take that ratchet out, Jake.
Put this helmet on just in case.
Yep, wear your helmet.
For safety,
Safety first. Hopefully y'all can see this. Getting a little dark on us. We're gonna break it in like we stole it.
Might take a couple pulls.
Might.
I just reach back, cut it off. It goes back there.
Yeah. Is it on or off?
I should unplug your plugs.
I'm not worried about that right now. Alright. That is... It's already on that. That is choked to start. hit that time. Ready?
Yeah.
Let it warm up a second, okay?
Oh, what happened?
Just let it sit there for a second. I know, Bailey. You ain't seen the go-kart run in a while. Huh?
It's not moving. That's great.
Yeah.
Why the throttle?
All right. Give it a little gas.
Throttle hard
Give it
to
just a
go.
little bit of gas. Don't pump it. There. Right there. Give it a little bit. Just a little bit. All right, go. Go ahead. Move, Bailey.
It's not moving by itself.
That's good. Gotta keep it running though, okay?
I gotta keep going.
So we get the throttle set. You can give it some gas.
Yeah, is that good?
All right. Oh. Not so much for breaking it in softly. Yeah, she's excited too. Good exercise for the whole lab. I don't think he's gone wide open with it yet, will it? She won't get out of the damn way. She's gonna get a leg broke, so what's gonna happen?
Hey, can be there. One thing that we can.
All right, so hang on. All right, so I think it's gonna wrap this one up. We got the whole go-kart running. Next video, we'll probably be putting tires on it, putting the roll cage back on. I gotta do some welding on the little roll cage tab. We're gonna make some videos. They want to put a light bar on it and paint it up a little bit, and we gotta get those disc brakes going and stuff like that. But you can obviously see we got it going good. That's making these boys happy, I'm sure. So appreciate you watching. Come back and see us in the next one. Peace.